Hi girls. Nice to see some of my Stampin' Peeps here. Just getting on a little early to make sure I've got everything going correctly here. Trying to get organized and lined up. Haven't done this in a while, so I'm out of practice. So wanted to get on a little early so I could take some time to figure out what I'm doing. Looks pretty good. I think I see everything. How's the view from your end? Pretty good? All right, and it is just about 8 o'clock and I've got a few. Hi, Courtney. Nice to see you. I hope you're doing okay. We missed you yesterday. All right, well, I've got some very eager stampers here and I'm very eager myself to get started. I love this project and it's one of my favorites that I've done with this new suite. And as most of you know, the new catalog launched today and you can now get online and you can order from the new catalog. So I'm pretty excited about that and I hope you are too. And the things we're going to be working with today are from the Magnolia Suite. And let me show you quickly the Magnolia Suite. This is just magnificent. And when we went to convention and they showed us this, I knew this one was going to be a huge, huge hit. So if you have your catalogs, it's on page 36, 37, and 38. And it is amazing. The amount of embellishments and things that go with it, it just is mind-blowing. It's beautiful. And the paper is also beautiful. And I have the items here, so let me give you let you show them. Now here is the stamp set. Hi, Lisa. Hello, Diane from Maine. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining me. And this is the stamp sets. What's very cool about this, has two cases. And it's called Good Morning Magnolia. And it has this beautiful large magnolia image, which is fantastic. And I'll show you some cards I made with that. And it also has a smaller bud that I'm going to use for my project tonight. And then it has some really, really nice sentiments. I love the fonts. Always love the fonts they choose at Stampin' Up. So this is part of the Magnolia Lane Suite. This is the stamp set you get. It is a cling set. And the new cling stamps are very, very good. It's a new manufactured cling and it really, really holds onto your blocks very, very well. So very excited to get that so we don't have them falling. And then it comes, of course, with a beautiful set of dies. And here's the big die that cuts out that nice large image, but there's also one for the small image. And there's also this one here that curves your bottom of your paper, and I'll show you that with one of my samples. And then it also has these that cut out pieces of cardstock and you can make three-dimensional flowers. And that will be in my project for next week. I'm going to be making a box, and I'll show you that at the end of the Facebook Live. So this is the set of not framelits, but dies that you get with it. And then quickly, I'll show you the paper. This is like the most amazing paper you're ever gonna see. And I'm already dug into it a lot. The bag that I made that showed as a sample uses this paper, just beautiful. And the colors are just the same. So when you color with your blends, your flowers are gonna look just the same as the paper. It's so nice that it coordinates so well. And on the back, there's always a nice, more neutral kind of a pattern, and here's the one we're going to be using today. Just gorgeous, gorgeous. And we have a stripe, beautiful stripe. And then there's, let's see what else we have in here. Oh yes, we have the pink stripe is very pretty. There's another flower with a pink stripe on the back. Just gorgeous, magnificent paper, just so beautiful and so easy to just put a piece of the beautiful designer series paper on a card front and have a beautiful card. Here's one of my samples, and this is just what I did here. I just took a piece of the beautiful designer series paper and put it on the card front, and then I just made a little sentiment on the front, and I used the little bud there. But look how beautiful that is just with the paper. I mean, that's really all it has is just the paper. So I just think that's so gorgeous. And then I have a couple other ones here. This one here, this uses that die that I was talking about that kind of makes a little ruffle on the bottom of your paper there. Isn't that so cool? And it has like little stitching on it as well. So I took a piece of the designer series paper and I used that framelit on the bottom to give it a little bit of a ruffle. So I really love that too. And look at that, just with a little bit of blends, you can just make the flowers look gorgeous. Let's see what else I have here. Here's one where I used just the designer series paper behind it. And for this one, I put a little bit of the Flirty Flamingo in there. And if you notice, looking at both of these, the first flower is a little lighter. This is all powder pink on this side. And this one, I added a little bit of the Flirty Flamingo in towards the center to make it a little darker. So it's really kind of up to you how you want to color your flowers. And this one, I used the Granny Apple Green for the leaves. And this one, I used the Mossy Meadow. So it's kind of whatever you like. That's what's so wonderful about this. The stamps and the blends coordinate so lovely that they'll you can have a lot of different choices when you come to making your project. So those are just a few of my cards. I have a lot more, but you didn't come here to see my cards, did you? Of course you didn't. You came here to find out how to make this lovely little bag. And I just love these bags. I had made one a few months ago that used, you know, kind of the regular straps that a handbag has. And I love those. And then I saw going through on Pinterest that someone had tried and made it with the rings. And I thought, oh, I love that. I think that's so cute, especially for the summer. It kind of looks like a beach bag. And it's very, very roomy inside. You can get lots of great gifts in there. And really super easy to make. So I'm going to show you exactly how to make it. And don't worry about trying to take down measurements and things. I just put up on my blog all the measurements, and then after, hi Jerry, and then after I finish the Facebook Live, I will put this video on my blog as well. So just sit back and watch and enjoy the video, and then you can always go back later to get the specifics. And of course, you can always talk to me if you have any questions about anything. All right, so let's get started. All right, let me talk first about what is needed to make the bag. And what's so awesome about the bag is you only need one piece of designer series paper to make it, because you know how we just love this designer series paper and we want to make sure we get the most out of it. So what you're going to need are 2 pieces of designer series paper. Now I'm going to use a different design from the one I used for the original bag. Thank you, Jerry. I love doing them for you guys. I love the 3D. I think a little more than cards, but I love doing both. But yes, this is really one of my favorites and so easy to make. You guys are going to be able to make these very easily once you see. So I have 2 pieces here that are 8.5 by 6 inches. So you need 2 pieces of the designer series paper of your choice, 8.5 by 6 inches. All right, now to make the base, you're going to need a corresponding piece of cardstock, and I picked Mossy Meadow, okay? And this piece of Mossy Meadow is 3 inches by 6.5 inches. And I then scored it at 1/2 inch on every side, and I used my Simply Scored board, okay? So again, it's 3 inches by 6.5, and then I went around and scored every side at 1/2 inch. And that's gonna be our base. And this is gonna be the first thing we're gonna work on. We're gonna put that aside for now. And then you're going to need 2 thin strips, and we're gonna go with that same corresponding color. And we're going to need these strips to be 1/2 inch by 8.5 inches. Okay, so we need these 2 strips. Then we need 2 thicker strips, and these are 3/4 inch by 5.5 inches. Okay, and last of all, of course, we need our handles. And to make your handles, you're going to need 4 circles. Okay, so you're going to have to make 4 of the circles instead of 2. You say, well, there's only 2 handles, but we put an inside and an outside. And let me show you how I made those. What I used is, I used the largest of the stitched circle framelits. And these are these. Many of you have these, the stitched circle framelits. And I used the largest of those. Okay? And then I went to my layering circles, and I found the one that is the best for the project as far as how wide or how thick I wanted my rings to be. And let me take my ruler. Okay, this one is about 2 1/8 in diameter, and that's the one I picked to make the ring. So what I did is I put both of these pieces on a piece of Mossy Meadow, ran it through, and made the ring. And then I ran it through 3 more times. So I need 4 of these rings. And I really love using that stitch circle because it gives the little circle some stitching around it. It makes it look like a stitched handle on a handbag. So I really love that little added detail. So that's all you need. I'm not kidding. That's all you need for this bag. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so how we're going to get started, we're going to start with our base. And we're going back to our rectangle we had that was, let me check my 3 by 6.5 and scored at 1/2 all the way around. I'm going to take my bone folder now and I'm going to go ahead and crease all my score lines. So to give you an idea what I'm doing, if you look at the bottom here of my bag I've already finished, this is what we are putting together right now. We're putting together the bottom part here, okay? That's gonna be the part down there, and it's really just like a box lid, okay? So it's really not that difficult to make. It's just like a little box lid. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and take our rectangle, and I'm gonna take my paper snips, and I'm going to snip and make 2 little flaps on the end here, turn it around, and make 2 little flaps on that end. Okay, so we have these flaps here to make. Now, what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to glue these to the outside rather than the inside. We're very used to gluing it, putting it around and like that. But the outside is a better choice because those are gonna be covered up. Okay, and then when we look down into the bag, we won't see those little flaps. So we're gonna go ahead and we're going to adhere them to the outside. Let me show you how I do that. I'm gonna take a little bit of Tombow on each of the flaps. Come on, Tombow. Don't fail me now. Not on my Facebook Live. There we go. There's a little bit of Tombow on each. And then I'm gonna fold them up and just hold them briefly like that. Then I'm gonna turn it the other way. And I'm gonna hold those briefly there. And look at that. Whoops, and throw it on the ground. All right, so we have our base. This is the base that we're gonna build our purse from. So what we kind of made was a little shallow box, okay? Pretty simple, okay? So now we're gonna go from here. All right, so we're gonna build the sides of our handbag now. Okay, we're gonna bring these back in, our pieces of Designer Series paper. Now I'm gonna turn, if you notice I turned them over, one of the pieces is gonna have tear and tape. Does everybody know what tear and tape is? It's this fabulous double-sided tape that holds things like nobody's business. And this is a great thing to have when you're doing your 3D items. So on one piece of the inside of my designer series paper, I'm going to put 3 pieces of the tear and tape. Okay? And then on the other one, I'm just going to put one along the bottom. Okay. Has everybody had a chance to look at the new catalog? Does anybody have things that are their favorites? Oh, I did put it in order today, and most of it was just paper because I have a lot of the things I already want, but there's just so many gorgeous things. Can anybody share with me what they think some of their more favorite things are? I know this Magnolia Suite has to be on somebody's list for sure. Okay, so now we have these 2 pieces, and we're going to use the piece here with the 1 strip of tear and tape first. Okay, so let's take the other one away for now. I know, there's too many to choose, Deb, you're right. I'm already have many of them, and I already have a list I still have a list that's really, really long. All right, so I'm gonna take this one that has the 1 along the bottom, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take the backing off the tear and tape. Okay, then I'm going to take my base of my purse. Okay, I'm gonna put it down right in the middle. Okay, now I want to line up the edge of the bottom with the bottom of the paper. So you want to carefully do that. And you want to try to get it in the middle. There we go. Okay, there, that's better. Then you're going to push it down with your finger. Okay, and notice that it's right along the edge there. Okay, now you're going to bend it around the side of the base and adhere it there. Same thing over here. Just bend it carefully around the edge of the base and adhere it. And you want to keep all that along the edge there as close as you can. I see my little flap is showing there a little bit. I'll have to cut that there. You want to make sure that the paper comes right down to the edge. Okay, so now I have 1 piece on there, and it's already looking like the bag that we just saw. Okay, so now let's go ahead and we're going to take our second piece. Okay, we're going to take our second piece, designer series paper, and we're going to remove all 3 strips of the tear and tape. And I always try to do this fast, and the faster I do it, the harder it is. So I'm going to try to relax. There we go. That wasn't too bad. Okay, so now we have 3 sides with the tear and tape on. Okay, we're going to do kind of the same thing. Okay, we're going to go ahead and turn it with the side down that we want to adhere our other side on. Do the exact same thing. Okay, I'm going to gently put it down. Try to get it in the middle. There we go. And I'm going to take my hand and rub on that edge. Okay? So now we have that adhered. Now we're going to have to bring them around to the side so that we can adhere the sides. Now what you're going to do, same as you did before, you're going to bring it around carefully, and the first thing you worry about is getting it adhered at the bottom. Okay? Then the bag kind of works on its own, and you just kind of run your hand up and the bag goes together. Look at that. Okay? Same thing on the other side. You want to concentrate first on the bottom so that you're lined up just like the other along the edge, and then kind of let the bag do its own thing. And there you go. Look at that. Okay? And there you have your handbag all done. Okay? Now that was very easy. And after you make a couple of them, it gets easier and easier. The first one's a little tricky, but you really just want to let the paper kind of find its own way and mold itself. So it's really easy, and you get that bag pretty quickly. Okay, now we want to spruce it up a little bit. Now to do that, we're going to take those 1/2-inch strips, and I've already put some tear and tape on those. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and remove the tear and tape from one. And this is gonna go along the bottom, kind of like a nice, pretty border. Like when you buy the handbags at the store, they always have the beautiful leather trim along the bottom. So we're gonna fake them out and make it look just as good. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put this along the bottom. Okay, you wanna cover up your paper. You wanna get it directly and right down to the bottom. Okay, then you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna fold these over the side. Okay, there we go. We got one done. Let's go ahead and turn it over on the other side. Round two, same thing. We're gonna take our tear and tape off and we're gonna line it up so that we adhere it first at the center of the strip, in the center of the bag. Line it up with the bottom. There we go. And then we bring it across. And there we go. Okay, we have our bottom. Gives it a nice finish. Thanks, Mary. You know I am. I've been doing it for a while. So, comes pretty natural to me now after you've had 10 years of third graders. So, thank you for that compliment. All right, so there we are. Okay, now, let's talk about the sides of the bag. Okay, we have two more strips here. These are shorter strips. Okay, they are 5.5 inches long by 3/4. And the reason they're 5.5 is because the bag is 6 inches tall, but the little strip at the bottom is 1/2 inch. So this is going to be applied right to the side of the bag, and then it will go all the way from the bottom of the bag to the top. And I use Tombow with this. I'm a big Tombow girl. I use a lot of Tombow. I found that to be my adhesive of choice. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna line it up here on the side, right along the edge. Voila. Same thing on this side. Isn't this so easy? People look at this and they're just so impressed, and I say, oh yes, I have been just slaving hours in the craft room making this. But when you really find out how to make it, it isn't difficult at all. And you can make these so inexpensively and they'll become just wonderful, wonderful gift bags to give things away. All right, we are getting close here, people. We need to do our handles. Okay, now what I do for my handle is the first thing I'm gonna do is get out this is my starburst punch, okay? And what I'm gonna do, and I just kind of eyeball it, or if you want to, you can measure before you put it together. But I kind of eyeball where I think the center of the bag is, and then I punch where the front of the bag comes like halfway, right to the diameter of it. And then I look, and then I just, okay, take a big bite out of it. Okay, then I do the same thing to the other side. I'm gonna go to the middle of the bag. Okay, middle of the circle. It's gonna go right down where my diameter of my starburst punch is, and punch it out. Okay, so there are my handles, ready for my handles. Okay, so now we are in the okay, so here are our handles. Remember I talked to you about these. These are made by using the largest stitch circle and then one of the smaller layered circles. Okay, we go back to our glue again. Gonna use a little bit of Tombow on both sides. Okay, I'm gonna grab my bag and I'm gonna put the handle on the outside first. Okay, handle goes on the outside of the bag first. Then I'm gonna take the other one that I put the glue on. I'm sorry, I'm out of the frame. That's not good, Barb. Watch where you're going. And I'm just gonna glue that to the inside. So there it is. There's the outside. There's the inside. Okay? So it covers up, gives it a nice clean look. I really love that. Okay, now I'm gonna do the second one. Same way, turn them over. Put a little bit of Tombow on each of the rings. You're gonna start on the outside. Okay, so here goes. Show them, don't put it too close to you, Barb. There we go. I've adhered it so that the portion that I punched out with my punch is covered up with my ring. Okay, then I grab my other ring and just put it directly over. And the Tombow makes things happen very quickly, but it does give you a little time to move things around if you need to. So there it is. Look at that, girls. Is that not easy? Is that something you think you could make? Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so there's the bag. We have one more thing we'd like to do. Just like on my other bag here, I made a little embellishment for the front. So we're gonna make the exact same embellishment. Yes, thank you, Jody. It's so easy. I'm glad you like it. Now we're gonna finish it off like every good pocketbook has to have a nice little embellishment on front. Thank you so much, everybody, for all the hearts. I really appreciate that. You know how much I love showing you my 3D items. Okay, so let's go ahead and make this embellishment here. Really, really simple. We're gonna bring back in two of my favorite punches. We've already used one of them. This is the Starburst punch. And this is the 2-inch circle punch. People, you need to have these in your repertoire. These are so useful in card making and in box making, everything. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a piece of the petal pink, okay, and I'm going to cut that out using the 2-inch circle punch. Then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take my Starburst punch and punch out a Mossy Meadow piece. Okay, now these punches are so nice because they nest right inside of each other. So I have my powder pink on top and my Mossy Meadow underneath, and I'm just gonna adhere those together. Okay, so there's part of my embellishment, almost done. All right, the next part of my embellishment is the little bud. Now, I've already stamped it using my Memento ink, and I've also cut it out using my dies. Okay, now remember the dies are here, and I'll show you the die that I used to cut that out. That was this one here. Okay, so this is the die I used to cut out the little magnolia bud. All right, let me show you how I colored it. Coloring these is so nice because you really don't even color the whole petal. You're just really giving a little bit of color to the base of the petal. If you look here at the one I made, I just really put color in. The darkest of the color is right at the base of the bud, and then as you go up toward the top of the petals, it gets much lighter. And that's kind of, if you look at the magnolias, that's at least one of the colors. That's how it looks, the pink magnolia. Now I'm using let me make sure I got these names right, petal pink. Okay, and this petal pink, this is a little bit orange. And so there's other choices if you'd like. I've used the Flirty Flamingo as well, and I like that too. But they really do use the petal pink in the designer series paper, so that's why I'm using it on here. Now let me show you how I do this. Let's first go ahead and do the leaves. Okay, I use the Mossy Meadow blends for the leaves. And what I do is I'm gonna take the darker of the Mossy Meadow, and I'm going to use the side that is the bullet. Okay, there's a bullet tip and there's a brush tip, and this is a very small image, so I'm gonna use the bullet. And I'm gonna go ahead, this is the darker one, I'm gonna go over some of the veins in the leaves. I'm not real good at the shading and everything, so I kind of just follow along what the image shows that is stamped. And that's what I usually go over. If I see a little bit of darkness or shadow on the stamped image, that's where I go. All right, then I'm gonna take my lighter Mossy Meadow and I'm gonna go ahead and color in all those leaves. And it will help to blend in the veins of the leaves that I've already colored with the darker color. And it will blend it nicely like that. So there are my leaves and my little stem. Okay, now let me show you the fun you have with these leaves. Okay, all I do for the leaves is I start with the darker of the petal pink. Okay, and I'm going to use the bullet. Okay, now here are all the petals, and I just kind of put the dark color along the base. Okay, along the base of the petals. Okay, can everybody see that? And then I take the lighter, and I actually use the brush tip for this to help it blend a little better. And I just continue to push it up. Okay, and as you touch the darker, it's gonna blend in with the lighter, and then the lighter moves up to where it's just white. Okay, and that's it. That's how easy that is. You can make it look so realistically, so easily with those blends. Okay, I love it. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pull out my trusty dimensionals, and I'm gonna put a couple dimensionals on the back of my gardenia, my magnolia bud, and then that goes right on to my little embellishment. Okay, that's how easy that was. That was the 2 punches and then the little flower on top. Now I'm gonna bring my bag back, and then I'm going to put 2 dimensionals on the back of my bud. And then I'm gonna go and let's see how I like it. I think I like it like that. I'm gonna put my hand inside, and I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna change my mind. I'm gonna move it over a little bit. Let me see. Come on, there we go. Gonna move it over a little bit. There we go, that's better. Get my hand inside, and there it is. Look at how easy, how beautiful those are. So easy. So if you like the darker colors, you can go with this, and I used the petal pink as the corresponding colors here. Gorgeous, I love it. And then here, I used the Mossy Meadow for the coordinating color. So it's if you like the lighter bag or the darker, I can't decide, I like them both. But really, really simple and easy to make. And if you have any questions about anything we've talked about tonight, please leave me a message on here and I'd be glad to get back to you. And as I mentioned earlier in the Facebook Live, my blog is up and running again. It's been a while and I'm trying to get it up and running. There is a blog post about this project already, and I will be placing this video in that blog post as soon as we finish here. So let me know what you think. And I'm trying to get my blog up and running and trying to do more projects because I know how much you love to see the projects. All right, so this is it for today. Now, next Tuesday, I'm going to be going again about the same time. I will put schedule a event again, just to remind you, to help you remember. But remember, if you can't make the event, you can always watch it on the replay. Next week, oh, here we go, another 3D project. We are going to make this gorgeous 4x4 inch box. And we're going to be using the dies that make the flower. And here's the lovely, lovely lace ribbon. I love this. Okay, and I love the box because it's a reinforced box. If you look inside there, you can see the reinforcement around the sides of the box. And it's a good size box. It's a 4x4 inch cube. And this will be our project for next Tuesday. All right, so let me know what you think. And I'm always interested in knowing anything that you'd like me to make, anything you'd like me to demo for you. I would love to do that. So let me know. And thanks for joining me today. And we'll talk to you again next Tuesday. Take care. Bye.